Hi everyone, and welcome to this brand new construction update showcasing the LAX Skylink train. We'll be looking at all that's new here for the month of February, here on Tiger Railfan. Before we get started, let's take a look at the route we're going to be following today. We'll be starting at the LAX Terminal East station, making our way west to the airport, and making our way back out to the LAX Metro Transit Center after that. But here we are now at the LAX Terminal East station, servicing Southwest's Terminal 1 and United's Terminals 7 and 8. Today we'll also feature a rare look at night at some of these stations as well. Today's video was filmed on February 22nd, 2026 on a Sunday to help see some contrast to what we've been doing on the weekdays. Let's see if they're going to be working on the weekend here, as they honestly should be with all of the delays that have been happening recently. Looking at the station platform directly though, we can see that all the lighting is on here, which is a good sign to see. We can also see the station's letter designation, which is C. They're going to be starting with the letter A at the LAX Terminal West station all the way to F at the Consolidated Rental Car Facility. This will help showcase an additional way to identify which station you're at, as the names can be quite generic, being LAX Terminal East, West, and Central. Unfortunately, there are no Skylink vehicles at this station, but we'll continue looking for those throughout the video. As last construction update filmed roughly 3 weeks ago, we saw a full speed test train running through, which is really good sign to see, especially as we begin narrowing on the now summer anticipated opening date this year. Coming around this end of the station, there are 2 elevators behind the escalators, providing extra capacity there, in addition to some flight information boards that are now labeled over here, as you can see once we zoom in, at this T junction here. I'd imagine the flight board will showcase both United and Southwest flights. Curious to see how they're going to do that. But at least they have an ability to see your flight before you even walk into the terminal building, which is really good to see. There's also some work being done down below at the road, but not much new has been done since last episode, so we'll just skip on that briefly. There are also moving walkways featured at many places in the walkways, but due to the nature and curvature of it, there are not moving walkways covering all of the bridges. Fun fact, in that fence on the right-hand side is where a Verizon cell tower is. So if you happen to be riding the Skylink train with the Verizon provider, you'll have a great amount of cell service. But getting back on track here, this is also where you'll find the elevators, which soon you'll be able to use to go downstairs to the arrivals level, where you'll have to walk across the street in order to access the station. And I'll show you why you'll have to do that in just a second. But the general state of the elevators is looking about the same as last time. They cleaned up all the construction equipment on the parking structure level, so hopefully we begin to see this opening soon. But they're probably going to have some form of construction barrier up until the line opens. They don't want people just randomly going down these elevators or up those steps. What's interesting is the 4th floor is also only a couple of feet, or about 7 or 8 steps below the upper level, which services the walkway. So the elevator has a door on both sides. Here we are now at the LA exit facility, where you can catch Ubers, taxis, and any other form of personal transportation that isn't personally arranged. For example, if you're having your parents pick you up from the airport, you're able to do so within the airport Horseshoe. But once the Skylink train opens, it might be preferred to actually take the Skylink train out here for pickup. I'm curious to see how they're going to arrange that at the Metro Transit Center and Consolidated Rental Car Facility stations. They should have a pretty big pickup and drop-off portion, I'd imagine. And you may be asking why they can't just use this bridge here. And I do wish that they would modernize it and utilize it, especially with the disruption in the planning of Concourse 0, which is supposed to connect to that bridge stub that we looked at by the LA exit facility. So until then, unfortunately, all passengers that are heading to Terminal 1 will need to go downstairs to the arrivals level and use the conventional current way to access the terminal from crossing the street down there, which, mind you, can take quite a bit of time. Looking at the curvature up ahead in the track and the control tower, we're looking towards the central terminal station now, let's head downstairs between the parking structures that we're on top of to get a look at the traffic. Now, this is a Sunday around 5 p.m., which is prime time for flights departing back home or for people to come back and get picked up from their weekend getaway. It probably is going to take at least 15 to 20 minutes to go around the Horseshoe here today. Lots of traffic, clearly showcasing the need for the Skylink train. I really can't wait for them to be opening that, especially as I personally have some trips coming up in the summer. So it would be nice to ride the Skylink into the airport. Still do use the shortcuts though, just to my left-hand side to get to terminals 7 and 8 if you're heading in that direction. It will definitely save you some time, so definitely utilize those. There is some construction also happening on the left-hand side at the ground level. I'm not sure if it's related to the Skylink train, but LAX is currently undergoing a lot of refurbishment right now. So the Skylink train is not the only thing at all going on here. But here we are now atop parking structure P2. This is going to be where we can see the LAX Central Terminal Station. It's in a similar condition as the LAX Terminal East station in that all the lights of the station are on. The elevators also look to be in similar condition with the signage complete. This will also enable people the ability to utilize the elevated walkway to access the airport terminal from their cars. Signage is also up there, but I'm pretty confused to why it's showcasing so many terminals there, as if people are heading towards Terminal 1, it might be better to ride the Skylink train one stop to the LAX Terminal East station. Curious to navigate this wayfinding signage myself once the line opens. Once it does, we'll have plenty of videos relating to it, so don't worry about that. This signage though looks a lot more simpler, just points to Terminal 2. There are also some flight information boards getting ready to be turned on over there. And there's also a set of elevators leading down to the parking levels. So there's a lot of coverage when it comes to that. I'm sure those walkways are going to become bustling once they're open, with the mix of demand from the train and the parking levels. Terminals 2 and 3 are actually connected and use the same security checkpoint, most of which is serving Delta and their partners. And you can get off at 2 different locations for Terminals 2 and 3. I'm sure that'll bring up some confusion, but I'm sure seasoned airport travelers will find it helpful that they have the options. Going back down to the traffic-filled Horseshoe, we're going to begin making our way to the LAX Terminal 3 area, which is going to be connected to the LAX Terminal West station. But on our way, we can see some of the elevated bridges and their light fixtures as well. I think that's a really modern way that they've done it, with some lighting at the bottom facing up that lights up the whole passageway and gives it a really modern look. We're always here either early in the morning or during the daytime only, so this is a really good contrast to see as we come here on an atypical day to film this construction update. But now let's go ahead up to parking structure P3 at the 5th floor, where we're going to take a look at the LAX Terminal West station. Looking to the left, we can actually see the LAX Central Terminal station, as the spacing between the stops is not that much at all. Again, this station is going to service the Tom Bradley International Terminal, as well as Terminals 3 and 4. The station is also generally looking pretty good here, with the station lighting all on. The TV screens also on at this station, as it is for the other 2 we looked at so far. And some of the blue signage is already complete. So honestly, there's not much new to report here, and I do think the biggest obstacle next is going to be testing. Taking a brief look at the elevators, they look good as well. The signage is also complete over there, and the construction barricade is still up, presumably just to stop people from going in prematurely. In terms of the vehicles parked up here, we're seeing about a medium amount of cars, so it's definitely pretty busy inside the airport, as the top floor tends to be the emptiest here. Construction worker wise, there is also a worker, looks like he's just monitoring the area on the left hand side next to the station's letter designation, which is A. In terms of construction workers, unfortunately, it appears like there's not much happening at the weekend at all. Just some monitoring, and that is pretty much it. But just ahead is the Tom Bradley International Terminal, the newest and biggest terminal built. Several other domestic airlines are also utilizing the terminal here, such as Frontier. Also, we're looking at the connection to the airport. Does not look like anything has changed over there. We've looked at it at every past construction update, but it appears to be the same. Although the entrance to the Tom Bradley International Terminal is blocked off over there. Seems like they're doing a lot of rehabilitation for the terminal itself as well. So if you are traveling through the area, of course, make sure to give yourself some extra time, especially at the International Terminal. Or if you're traveling at any of the peak periods like today, as Sunday night. But let's go ahead and look at some other features around the International Terminal station before we make our way back out to the Metro Transit Center. Recently, this white paint beneath the glass entrance was repainted. We saw this briefly in the last month's construction update, where there was a painter while we were riding the bus on the way out. But now, let's go ahead and make our way out of the traffic-filled LAX Horseshoe utilizing the current shuttle. I can't wait until the shuttles are removed and the Skylink train begins, because I'm sure that Skylink train is going to be 2 to 3 times faster than the current multi-stop operation going on here, with a bus stop in front of virtually every terminal. Let's make our way now to the LAX Metro Transit Center, servicing the C and the K lines, in addition to several bus agencies from LA Metro, Beach Cities Transit, Big Blue Bus, Culver City Bus, and of course, the LAX Metro Shuttle. We'll also get a great view of the consolidated rental car facility station from here. But here is the LAX Metro Transit Center station. This is going to connect directly to the concourse level of the metro station, providing convenient access to rail services, as I'm sure that's where most people will be heading. It'll still be about a 2 to 3 minute walk though to get to the bus bays, especially the further ones for transit agencies like Culver City Transit. Looking over here is the consolidated rail car facility. This station has all of its lighting working, the TV screens are on, and the electronic sign on the left of it is also working. So everything's going well over here. I am curious to see if there will be any new changes in regards to these stations. But again, they look 99% complete from the previous episodes. So I think the biggest obstacle is going to be testing from here on out. It's just a matter of how quick are they going to finish it, and are they willing to expedite it? That's going to be the question that no one yet knows. I hope you did enjoy this construction update, this extra one provided at the end of the month. If you do enjoy these extra updates, please feel free to like the video, subscribe, and comment down below so that way I know to do more of these. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing rest of your day or night. I'll see you all next month.